universe has been overtaken by yet another catastrophe. There's an infection going around, but this one doesn't just turn you into a zombie. It's so much more than that.
What? No!
This is actually one of the most brutal sequences I've seen in any one of these AU infections. So let's just go ahead and delve into it. Let's talk about it. This series is called the Sonic Dark Gaia AU. Let's first talk about these creatures and what we know about them. These creatures are incredibly strong, incredibly fast, and bullets cannot penetrate their bodies unless you hit them in their weak spots or their eyes. They can grow up to around 6 feet in height, whereas the average of someone's like Sonic size is about 3.3 feet, so about half. So these regular small nightmares and deep nightmares cannot affect due to their lack of venom, fortunately, but they can possess bodies. They all have unique abilities used to hunt and eat victims, which makes them the most dangerous. They also cannot be reverted to their original state once fully infected. They become puppets of Dark Gaia. The virus is spread through scratches and acts fairly quickly. Like Gaia, Chip can reverse the effects of the virus, but only first stage, and this process takes about 48 hours to fully complete, so he must act pretty fast to save everyone. The mutation happens in 5 stages. Stage 1 is recoverable. Stage 2, the victim begins to shed. They're visibly distressed at this point. Stage 3, the victim will suffer from bone breakage and spotting in the skin as if something is underneath. Stage 4 mutation begins. All sanity is lost and they become mostly feral. It's incredibly painful. Stage 5 is the final stage where the mutation is complete and Dark Gaia has complete control over the host. Now that we have that out of the way, let's move on to the current timeline. Eggman releases Dark Gaia, and the Earth literally splits into parts now, floating in space in pieces. Omega was pulled into the core of the planet and immediately turned to ash. Shadow managed to escape by removing his limiter rings. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the planet, Knuckles and Rouge search for the Master Emerald, as the other emeralds have lost their power since Gaia has awoken. No one seems to know why. Their only hope is the Master Emerald, and it's gone missing. No one knows where it went. Rouge and Knuckles desperately search for it. Sonic's on edge because Amy was killed and eaten by infected creatures. And Tails was also infected. He also has no idea about Rouge and Knuckles' whereabouts, so understandably still, he's kind of freaking out. Also, apparently the sun chases off all of Dark Gaia's minions, and they lose the ability to infect people, so all infections would only happen at nighttime. With them losing Gaia's energy at daytime, it makes them incredibly hungry. Hence, why they did what they did to Amy. 45 days since the infection started. Shadow is heading to Eggman's lab because he says he found Rouge. After a few weeks, precautionary measures were put in place to protect survivors, like shortening quills and fur so the infected can't grab you. Once they grab you, it's pretty much over. Shadow runs into Cream, who has just witnessed Amy literally being eaten alive. The poor little girl. He takes her back to Tails' labs for safety. Sonic, at this point, is freaking out. With Amy dead, Tails unconscious and infected, and tons of people who he couldn't save getting infected right before his eyes. This just seems completely out of his control. Espio was scratched and made a really smart decision to cut his leg off before this infection spread, and he managed to stop it. Vector, on the other hand, didn't manage to do anything of the such, and he succumbed to the infection. In a moment of carelessness, Shadow was scratched. Gaia, at this point, had unfortunately passed out, so he couldn't help Shadow with the infection, or with the scratch at least. Because turns out he's completely immune to it for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, Shadow goes to see Rouge at the lab, hoping she had a plan with Eggman. Unfortunately, it is far too late for her. She's not only been infected, but she's already advanced to like stage 4, stage 5. She's far too gone. All of this is just a result of week 1. Now we have to skip a bit forward and go to week 6 and talk about the characters there and what's going on. First of all, the Master Emerald, somehow that thing is shattered. Some of our characters are going around looking for the shards. Other than that, we have 2 different labs branched off where the main events are taking place. In Tails' lab, Sonic is desperately trying to find a way to fix all of the events going on and stop Dark Gaia. He's clearly fatigued, however, tired, hungry, and thirsty. But he's pressing on regardless, because if he doesn't save the world, who will? Chip is desperately healing everyone infected by the virus non-stop. He's exhausted, but he's forcing himself to keep going regardless of the results. Tails, recovered from his injury, was healed of his infection by Light Gaia. Sonic is forcing him to stay in the lab, however, in order to keep him safe and figure out how to reside with the dead emeralds. Jet and his team have embarked on a rescue mission, hoping to find survivors of the infection onslaught in order to bring them back to the lab. Unfortunately, the team is not doing so hot. No one's infected, but everyone's getting injured. If they aren't careful, they will die and be eaten by those creatures. Cream and Cheese are reunited after Jet's team returns them to the lab. Cream is safely secured and healed up in the lab. She's okay for now. Vanilla is also here after being rescued by Sonic. She was nearly eaten alive, but she's recovered, now helping out with all of the injuries around the lab. Silver has made it his duty to protect Tails' lab and keep everyone safe. He's probably actually in the best condition right now, with immunity to the infection and low stress as well. Meanwhile, Big the Cat snuck out of the lab, hoping to find Froggy, and he's been missing ever since. Now, he's hoping to be rescued by Jet's rescue team. Charmy, on the other hand, is utterly clueless that the infection is even happening in the first place. He's looking for Vector and Espio when Jet's team comes to rescue him. He's safe, for now. Now we switch over to Eggman's lab. Eggman is currently treating infected patients and studying the infected creatures, and the mutated, hoping to learn how everything works. Espio is out for vengeance. He's desperately trying to find the infected creature that exposed him and Vector. His amputated leg is now replaced with a metallic robot leg, and he carries Vector's chain to remember the pain they went through. Shadow is fighting off the infected creatures the best he can. He's now upgraded his arsenal to more heavy artillery too, capable of penetrating the shell of the infected. He's hoping to find a way to save Rouge, but he's exhausted and grieving her loss. Metal Sonic is here and he's pretty much attached to the roof of the lab like a turret to protect Eggman. Vector is fighting the infection with Eggman's help, still clinging to his survival. He's not in very good shape though. It's looking like he may not make it very much longer. We learn the whereabouts of Rouge and Knuckle, both mutated beyond the state of return. Both of them seem to be completely feral but retain traits of themselves before they turn. For example, Rouge can still fly, and Knuckles is still extremely strong. Meanwhile, Blaze is off on her own, trying to get into the core of the Earth to get to the Gaia's Colossus. She desperately hunts for the other shards to the Master Emerald. We have yet another time skip. This one's 5 weeks in the future. Things have certainly gotten worse at this point. A lot worse. Now let's talk about what's happening on Sonic's side of things. Currently, Sonic is continuing to fight off the infected creatures and trying to save as many lives as possible, but he's incredibly stressed out and slowly losing sanity. He's carrying around Amy's hammer now to remember her and to smite the evil bastards that ate her alive. Tails is still forced to stay in the lab. He's very much monumental when it comes to solving the mystery of the infection and the Chaos Emeralds, and Sonic won't risk losing him for his assistance on missions. Chip is not doing so good. He's doing really bad. It appears that although he's immune to the infection, I don't think he's immune to the negative influence of Gaia. Dark Gaia, that is. My personal theory is that every patient he heals, he takes that corruption within himself, and he's slowly becoming more and more corrupted without needing to be infected. I believe he's becoming less in control of himself. Dark Gaia may take over him soon. We also get a glimpse of the current state of Chip, and well, he's not looking so good. Silver, on the other hand, is doing great. His powers are getting stronger and more advanced. He's doing his duty to make sure everyone stays safe and keeping a level head to encourage everyone to keep fighting. Charmy, figuring out the news about Vector and Espio, is actually pretty distraught that he's lost his friends and they're no longer around. There are no significant changes with Cream or Vanilla. They're both basically still doing the same thing, safely in the lab. Big is still missing, hoping Jet's team finds him soon. Jet's team, however, is also doing really bad themselves. They're all badly injured, with Wave even losing an arm. Now we swap over to Eggman's lab again. Nothing new with Eggman, he's still just doing his research hoping to find some answers. Shadow is still trying to find answers to how to save Rouge. He's hyper-fixated on bringing her back, slaughtering anyone in his path to do so. Metal Sonic's also been upgraded to be more like a bodyguard to Eggman, although he is still pretty damaged and needs some work. Meanwhile, Orbot is now stationed in the lab cell rooms to make sure the mutated and infected stay in place and no one breaks out. Espio finally caught up to the infected creature that attacked him in Vector. He risked his life putting an end to them. He manages to take them out, then, in an instant, Infinite in a mutated state murders him seconds later. His last words were, "I avenged you, Vector." Meanwhile, Blaze is still off on her own, trying to get into the core. However, she sees something more than just an infected creature, and we've yet to find out whatever that is that she saw. And now we can add yet another mutated infected to the list. We have Infinite. He can scream and rally other infected to follow, essentially being able to rally dozens at a time. Yeah, these mutated infected are going to continue to be a problem. Everyone's sanity slowly dropping, everyone's slowly getting weaker and hungrier and thirstier. This is not looking good, especially with Chip not doing well himself. Now, it's also been a while since the creator of this has uploaded another part of this, and I don't know if they're going to continue this or not, but so far this is where we left off. So you guys let me know what you think about this AU. Let me know which direction you think it should be headed in if the creator is to return, or even if they don't return, which direction do you guys think this should be headed in? Also, leave me suggestions of other AUs like this, ARGs, analog horror, any of that, leave them in the comment section. And if you guys want to stay connected with me and Lord Crow, go ahead and join our Discord. Over there, we're trying to solve a mystery right now. We could really use you guys' help. So that link is going to be down in the description. Make sure you guys click on that and join up. All right. Peace.
We now conclude our scheduled broadcasts for today. Good night.